In an email to employees, Spirit's chief commercial officer called these cuts necessary changes in order to position the airline for the future.
What up, this is Solar Traveler ORD, back with another video review. Of course, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Hit that bell while you are here. So with this review, I'm going to go over a lot of travel videos, as well as what's going to happen is I'm going to start off pretty light, then it's going to get dark, and then we're going to end on a high note. So let's go ahead and jump into the videos and see what's going on with travel news.
Thailand is set to drop a 10-year visa, and this is where it gets interesting. It's called an LTR visa, long-term resident, and it's clearly aimed at competing with Vietnam's recent moves to attract investors and remote workers. And here's what you need to know. This visa gives you up to 10 years in Thailand, split into 2 5-year blocks. You only need to check in with immigration once a year. You can legally work, fast track through the airport, and get tax perks if you qualify. And who can get it? There are 5 main groups. Number 1, wealthy global citizens. Got 1 million in assets? You're in.
Of course.
Number 2, retirees. Over 50 years of age with $80K in annual income or investments in Thai property. Number 3, remote workers. You work for a big company abroad. They need at least $50 million in revenue. Number 4, highly skilled professionals in fields like engineering, tech, even disaster management. And 5, dependents, spouses, kids, even your parents can come with you, and there's no cap. So what's the catch? You'll need health insurance worth at least $50K a year to cover any medical bills, and it'll cost you around 50,000 baht, which is about £1,100 to apply for the 10-year visa. But you apply online, and once you're approved, you get a digital work permit and tax breaks. This visa is Thailand saying, hey, Vietnam's moving fast, we're not getting left behind. And honestly, it's a smart move. If you've ever dreamed of living or working in Thailand long term, this might just be your golden ticket. I post daily from the road. Follow for more.
Yeah, that sounds like a good deal, that you're able to be, living there for as long as you want. I know a lot of people are spending a lot of time in Thailand. They're falling in love with it. And it sounds like a great opportunity for those who don't want to get married, who doesn't want to have a spouse and just want to live there as a nomad and enjoy themselves. I think this is actually pretty good. And of course, you're making good money and everything's pretty cheap there. So I don't see why not. You just need $1,100. The only caveat to that, what I am concerned is what if they take the $1,100,000? I'm sorry, the $1,100. I'm talking about $1,100. And what if they deny you? So that is a problem. So I would be upset, like, yo, you took over $1,000 and you deny me, and you know that I meet the qualifications. So I would say, for those of you who think that you're on the cuff and think that you might be, on the border trying to get in and so forth, I wouldn't do it. But if you're already qualified for it, if you meet all the standards that's there, I think you're good to go.
Top 10 cheapest countries to buy a house in. Number 10 is Thailand, and I wouldn't mind a little pad in Thailand, a little pad Thai. Number 9, Greece. And Greece to me seems like it would be expensive. I mean, those columns can't be cheap. Number 8, Portugal. Everybody's moving to Portugal, it feels like. And as somebody who is Portuguese nationality, I can tell y'all, have fun eating all that bland food. I'm sure it's beautiful. I'm being mean to my own nationality. Number 7, Bulgaria. Number 6, Ecuador. Number 5, Mexico. Another place I wouldn't mind to have the food. Number 4, Turkey. Number 3, the Philippines. People love the Philippines, but let me tell you something. In terms of food, I'm not going near any balut. Okay, balut is a fermented egg that I want nothing to do with. Number 2, Colombia. And just watch out for machetes. If you like this list and want more about other nonsense, follow me. Leave me a comment with the country you thought would be the cheapest to own a house in. Also follow my wife Samantha, who I've tagged, and check out our podcast, Brutally Honest with Sam and Jacob, and book me on Cameo if you want a personalized message. Shut me up. Anyway, number 1 is I'll just pack up my shit and move to Pakistan.
Yeah, I think I'll pass on the number one. Pakistan might be a good place for me to go visit, but I don't think I'm gonna live there. But yeah, there's some nice places on that list. I would say it's pretty good. I do find myself living there, especially Colombia. That's one of the places I have, plan on living at since I have my visa and so forth. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about the list. Now let's get into the bad part of the video of all the bad things that's going on.
Spirit Airlines flights are departing Oakland this week on a one-way trip. They won't be coming back.
Please don't go. Stay here. Don't leave.
The struggling ultra-low-cost carrier is slashing its network and cutting costs as it searches for a route back to profitability.
Not happy about that. It made it pretty simple to kind of fly into the Bay Area from Las Vegas.
And it's not just Oakland. This week, Spirit will drop service to 10 other cities while grounding plans to launch service in Macon, Georgia. In the coming weeks, Spirit will also exit Hartford and Minneapolis. Steve Harvath found a cheap Spirit flight from Portland, Oregon to meet family in Las Vegas, an option he won't have again.
I think it's unfortunate to have less options, and I think it just makes it easier for the larger airlines to have a little more leeway over the consumer.
That may happen as Spirit exits. Higher fares may follow, says airline industry analyst Henry Hartevelt.
Spirit is the incredible shrinking airline right now. And unless there are other low-cost airlines that compete with Spirit on these routes, consumers should expect to pay more.
Spirit has struggled post-pandemic after a failed merger with JetBlue as flyers have shifted to a more premium experience. The airline plans to furlough a third of their flight attendants, seek pilot pay cuts, and ground planes while reducing its flights by 25%. Do you have any interest in buying Spirit?
We are not working on buying Spirit.
Barry Biffle is CEO of Frontier Airlines, Spirit's largest ultra-low-cost competitor.
There's too much supply in general.
Does Spirit need to go out of business for that capacity issue to be addressed? Does an airline need to fail?
They don't have to, but I think that is one of the unfortunate outcomes that could happen. But there has to be less capacity for everyone to be healthy.
Last month, United announced it would add 15 new routes, hoping to capitalize on Spirit's cuts. CEO Scott Kirby.
I think the ULCC model is going away, but I think there's always going to be robust competition, particularly for price-driven customers. Some airlines will fail, some new ones will come up. It's not just about price, it's about the value and what you get for it.
Do you expect some of the airlines that are at the table to fail?
I do.
Now, obviously, Spirit disagrees and has pushed back on its skeptics about its decline. In an email to employees, Spirit's chief commercial officer called these cuts necessary changes in order to position the airline for the future. And late yesterday, Spirit received hundreds of millions of dollars in financing, something the airline calls significant progress in its bankruptcy restructuring, Tony.
Yeah, I look at it as this. It's good and bad. The bad part is that as Spirit fails, airline prices go up with the other carriers, the prime carriers that we're used to going to, such as United, American, all the high-end ones. The bad part is, the good news is, because I already talked about the bad part, the good news is that now it makes it even more harder for those who don't have money to fly, which will limit the Pookies and Ray Rays from traveling. And you see all these Laquisas that's out in the airport fighting. But this will limit all of that. That's a good thing, because now they will have to take buses to move around, to travel around, instead of taking airlines and fighting on the plane. So that's a good thing. So I see it as a good and a bad, because one of the things is that I couldn't stand being around all that fighting, all that BS that's going on. That also may affect or at least help out Carnival Cruise, because these people who was jumping on these cruises, low-cost cruises, were more likely flying Spirit to get there. Another low-cost budget airline. So yeah, so I think that this is actually good and bad at the same time. It's a win for us who don't like being around the BS. It's a bad thing because, of course, prices are going to go back up. And that's just the way it is. But that's the way I see it. Let me know what you guys think about it in the chat.
Good evening. It's great to have you with us here on a very busy Tuesday night. We begin tonight with the breaking news. Air traffic control in multiple cities now being affected by this government shutdown. Newark to Nashville, Dallas to Chicago, all among the towers and facilities now affected. More air traffic controllers who are working without pay, calling in sick. And as we come on tonight, the FAA now warning of staffing issues in at least 8 major air traffic control facilities across the country. Nashville's tower, for one, has extremely limited staff, so some of its traffic, passenger planes coming in, are now being handled by controllers in Memphis. There are already delays and cancellations across the country. Authorities warn this is just the beginning. In fact, overnight, the airport in Burbank, California, forced to close its tower for nearly 6 hours because it had no staff. Controllers in San Diego taking over. The government shutdown with no end in sight, and those air traffic controllers, of course, are tasked with keeping our passenger planes taking off and landing safe. ABC's Gio Benitez leading us off from Newark Airport tonight.
Tonight, just a week into this government shutdown, the disruption to air travel is growing. The FAA now warning of staff shortages at least 8 major air traffic control facilities, threatening cancellations and delays across the country. From Las Vegas to Chicago, Dallas and Houston to Boston, Newark, Atlanta, and Nashville, air traffic controllers are working without pay and now calling out sick.
It's closed. Everything in the tower is closed.
Last night, the airport in Burbank, California, was forced to close its tower for nearly 6 hours because it had no staff. Controllers in San Diego were able to take over air traffic control, but flights were delayed for hours.
Is it because of the shutdown that you guys are going? It's for staffing.
Air traffic controllers are considered essential workers, and they don't get back pay until a shutdown is over. They're already facing extreme staffing shortages and problems with outdated equipment. Tonight, the union telling us the situation is not a coordinated sick-out. It's urging members to report for work, but says these air traffic controllers have bills to pay too.
We work evening shifts. We work midnight shifts. We have single parents. And when you're not even able to afford the childcare, those are going to be the very difficult decisions that are made.
And David, we're already starting to see these flight delays tonight. In fact, this is exactly what we saw during the last major shutdown. We're now seeing it again. And if this goes on, well, we could be looking at a situation that's much worse. David.
Gio Benitez live in Newark tonight. Gio, thank you.
Yeah, so that's something to think about. You know, as we travel, as we like to move around, a lot of this stuff affects our travel, such as you can see, these government shutdowns whenever this happens. And now you got to be very careful as you're traveling, because without the traffic controllers, you know, incidents can happen because of that. So you're gonna have to be very careful during this time as we're basically traveling. Man, for me, I'm a little bit afraid of traveling because of the fact that the traffic controllers are not even there, because that right there is a problem in itself and an opportunity, a destruction to happen. You know, that's what it looks like. So, you know, now we got to wait for government officials to get stuff rolling so that we can actually get back to truly traveling as how we used to before, with no problems, you know, without any worry at all. And lastly, I want to talk about this as we travel. I've spent a lot of time in Colombia. As you guys know, I've lived there for a year at one point, and I've actually definitely enjoyed myself there. And this is one of the things I've always noticed about in Colombia was the malls, how vibrant, how, you know, everything was always going on at the mall. How they even had times when you could even bring your pets there for doggy daycare, or for I guess that they had like a dog park inside the mall. So they incorporate everything with the mall, and I think that's actually a good thing. So, but shouts out to the brother for actually making this video on this about the malls.
Notice that the malls in Medellin are just vibrant, alive, and every day feels like a festival. But in the United States, the malls feel like retirement homes for old brands. Let's talk about why. In the United States, the malls died because online shopping won. Amazon perfected convenience. You can order today, and you might get your package by the evening time. The delivery and postal systems are world-class, and people trust them in the United States. But in Colombia, it's not like that. Even though there's DHL and other companies, people have Visa and MasterCard, the delivery network isn't as smooth, and a lot of Colombians just stick to cash. That slows down online shopping, and it keeps people going out to buy in person. But that's where Medellin actually shines, because the malls aren't just for shopping now. They're for living and socializing. Let's look at El Tesoro. It's got open air views of the mountains. There's restaurants with live music, and kids are running through fountains while the parents are just sipping on coffee. There's Santa Fe. This turns into an event space with art shows. They got fashion events, church services on the weekends. And we can't forget Viva Envigado. This one is practically a lifestyle hub because it's got the movie theaters, it's got bars, co-working spaces, concerts, Zumba classes, and like every single mall in Medellin, they all have a smart fit gym right inside. You can literally work out, you can eat, you can shop, and you can meet with friends without ever leaving the building. These malls are designed as social ecosystems, so they're safe, they're vibrant, and they're full of activity. And they're built around people, not just products. Now, let's go back to the United States. The malls really never evolved into this. I would say they actually devolved. They were designed around department stores like Sears, Macy's, and JCPenney's. And when those anchors died, the culture with them also fell. The experiences stayed transactional instead of social. Now, in Medellin, the mall became the new plaza. It's where people connect, they exercise, they eat, and live life in public. That's something no Amazon Prime delivery can replace. So while American malls are fighting extinction right now, the Colombia malls are thriving because they give people what the internet never will, a reason to go out and show up. So tell me in the comments, would you rather scroll through Amazon or hit Smart Fit at Viva Envigado and end the night with a drink and live music? Let me know in the comments.
Yeah, that's a good video. Hey, for those of you that actually spend a lot of time in Medellin, of course, you guys are able to agree with this, or at least understand how it is maneuvering through these malls and so forth. But let me know what you guys think about this. Let me know what you guys think about all the videos that I went through. This is Solo Traveler ORD. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, and I'm out.